How much weight are you carrying right now that was never yours to hold? We often believe that remembering every insult, every unkind word, every moment someone hurt us makes us stronger or wiser. But the truth is, holding on to the pain others cause us doesn't protect us. It slowly crushes us from within. The person who hurt you has likely forgotten what they said. They've moved on. But you're still carrying that weight day after day, wondering why life feels so heavy. Today's story is about a young man who made it his habit to collect every hurtful word ever spoken to him. He thought he was preserving important memories, protecting himself from being hurt again. But what he didn't realize was that he was building his own prison, stone by stone. Watch this story until the end, because somewhere in this young man's journey, you might just see yourself and discover the one simple choice that can finally set you free. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green hills, there lived a young man. He was kind by nature and hard-working by habit, but there was one thing that troubled him deeply. He could not let go of the hurtful words people spoke to him. From a young age, he had developed a strange habit. Whenever someone insulted him, mocked him, or spoke harshly to him, the young man would feel a sharp pain in his heart. And to remember that pain, he would pick up a stone or a pebble from the ground and place it in a cloth sack that he always carried on his back. When his neighbor once called him lazy, he picked up a stone and dropped it into his sack. When his cousin mocked his simple clothes at a wedding, he picked up another stone and added it to the sack. When a merchant in the market cheated him and laughed at his honesty, he found a heavy pebble and placed it inside with the others. Years passed, and the sack grew heavier and heavier. What had once been a small bundle was now a large bag filled with countless stones, some big, some small, but all carried with him wherever he went. His shoulders began to hunch under the weight. His steps became slow and tired. His face, once bright and cheerful, now carried the shadow of bitterness. He found it hard to smile. He found it hard to breathe. The beauty of the hills, the songs of the birds, the laughter of children, none of it could reach his heart anymore. The sack had become a part of him, and he could not imagine life without it. One day, the young man decided to travel to a distant town in search of work. The path led him through a steep mountain trail. With his heavy sack digging into his shoulders, every step felt like a struggle. His legs ached, his back burned with pain. He had to stop again and again just to catch his breath. As he sat down on a rock to rest, an old merchant appeared on the trail. He was a thin man with a long white beard and kind eyes. He carried a small bundle on his shoulder and walked with a calm and steady pace. The merchant noticed the young man sitting there, exhausted and troubled, with a large sack beside him. He smiled gently and sat down nearby. "Young man," the merchant said softly, "that is a very heavy sack you carry. What is inside it? Grain? Tools? Goods for trade?" The young man shook his head and replied, "O wise one, this sack does not contain grain or tools. It contains stones." The merchant raised his eyebrows in surprise. "Stones? Why would anyone carry a sack full of stones?" The young man sighed deeply and said, "Every stone in this sack represents a moment when someone hurt me. Every insult, every mockery, every unkind remark, I have collected them all. Whenever someone wrongs me, I pick up a stone to remember the pain they caused. This sack holds the weight of every wound I have ever received." The merchant looked at the bulging sack and then at the young man's tired, bent body. He nodded slowly and said, "May I show you something?" The young man agreed. The merchant reached down and picked up 2 small stones from the ground. He held them in his open palms and handed one to the young man, keeping the other in his own hand. "Imagine," the merchant said, "that I am someone who has insulted you. I throw this stone at you." He gently tossed his stone to the side, and it landed on the ground with a soft thud. "Now tell me," he continued, "where is my stone?" The young man looked at the stone lying on the ground and said, "It is there, on the path." "Exactly," said the merchant. "I threw it and walked away. I no longer carry it. I no longer feel its weight. It means nothing to me now." Then he pointed at the stone still in the young man's hand. "But what do? You pick it up. You hold on to it. You place it in your sack, and now you are the one carrying it, not me." The young man stared at the stone in his hand. His eyes widened as the truth slowly settled into his heart. The merchant continued, "When someone hurts you with their words, they throw their stone and walk away freely. They do not lose sleep over it. They do not feel the burden. But when you choose to pick up that stone and carry it with you, you add weight to your own journey. The offender walks light, while you struggle under the load." He gestured toward the heavy sack and said, "Look at what you have done to yourself. All those people who hurt you, where are they now? They have moved on with their lives. They have forgotten what they said. But you are still carrying every single stone. You are bent and broken under a weight that was never yours to bear." The young man's voice trembled as he asked, "Then what should I do, wise one? How do I free myself from this weight?" The merchant smiled warmly and said, "It is simple, my son. You must learn to let the stones fall. Open your sack and release them one by one. They do not belong to you. They never did." He placed his hand gently on the young man's shoulder and said, "And from this day forward, when someone throws hurtful words at you, pause for a moment, take a breath, and ask yourself, do I truly want to carry this stone? Most times, if you are honest with yourself, you will find that the answer is no." The merchant rose to leave, but before he walked away, he turned back and said, "Remember this, young man. Your reaction is your burden, not their action. You cannot control what others say or do, but you can always choose what you carry." The young man sat in silence for a long moment, staring at his sack. Then, slowly, with trembling hands, he opened it. He pulled out the first stone, the one from his neighbor's insult, and let it fall to the ground. He pulled out another, the one from his cousin's mockery, and let it roll down the hillside. He pulled out another and another, releasing them one by one. With each stone he let go, his breath became softer, his shoulders lifted, his heart felt lighter. The world around him seemed to grow brighter, the sky bluer, the trees greener, the air sweeter. By the time he finished, the sack was empty. Tears of relief were rolling down his cheeks. He folded the empty cloth, tucked it away, and stood up straight for the first time in years. He looked toward the path where the old merchant had gone and whispered, "You have given me a gift greater than gold. I will never forget this lesson." From that day onwards, the young man became a changed person. Whenever someone spoke harshly to him, he would pause, take a deep breath, and silently ask himself, "Do I want to carry this stone?" And most times, he chose to let it lie where it fell. His life slowly transformed. Lightness returned to his steps. Joy returned to his heart. He began to smile again, to laugh again, to see the beauty in the world once more. People in his village noticed the change and often asked him his secret, and he would simply smile and say, "I stopped picking up stones that were never meant to be mine." If we look at our own lives, we will find that we too carry many stones, old insults, painful memories, grudges that have long lost their meaning. We hold on to them, believing that letting go means weakness. But in truth, letting go is the greatest strength. This story holds a mirror to how many of us live our lives. We collect grudges, we store resentments, we replay painful conversations in our minds again and again, as if holding on to them will somehow punish the person who hurt us. But the truth is, they've already moved on. The only person still suffering is you. The merchant's wisdom is simple but life-changing. Your reaction is your burden, not their action. You cannot control what others say or do, but you can always choose what you carry. Starting today, make a conscious choice. When someone hurts you, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, "Do I really want to carry this stone? Is this worth my peace? Is this worth my happiness?" Most of the time, if you're honest with yourself, the answer will be no. Let it fall. Let it go. Walk lighter. Forgiveness isn't about saying what they did was okay. It's about deciding that you deserve to be free. It's about refusing to let someone else's cruelty become your lifelong burden. Use this one simple trick every night before you sleep. Think of any hurtful word or memory that still weighs on your heart. Imagine it as a stone in your hand. Then take a deep breath and say to yourself, "This stone is not mine. I release it." And gently let it fall. Now I want to ask you, what stones have you been carrying that were never yours to hold? Share in the comments below. It might just be the first step toward letting them go. If you believe this story can help someone you know who's struggling under the weight of old wounds, please like and share this video. Your simple act of sharing might change someone's life today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another story like this. I'll be back soon with another tale that might just give you the perspective you need. Until then, be patient, stay grateful, and remember, the lighter you travel, the further you'll go.